You feel that buzz in the air. Yeah, something big's brewing down here in Miami. The heat's on, and not everything behind the scenes is as calm as it looks. There are front office moves that could flip this franchise's future a little. Post-game trash talk after one of the wildest wins of the year. And believe it or not, some good news coming out of the injury room. What does it all mean for the Dolphins' future? Trust me, every single detail might be the turning point nobody saw coming. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's dive right in. Man, what's going on inside the Dolphins right now feels more like a Netflix drama than an NFL season. And the latest episode stars none other than Stephen Ross, the man signing the checks. Back in the offseason, the word around the league was that Ross might blow the whole thing up, coach. GM, quarterback, everybody if the team didn't win in the 2026 playoffs. Back then, it sounded like just another rumor. Then the season started to crumble. After a promising start turned into a nightmare at 2-7, the first domino fell. GM Chris Greer mutually parted ways with the team in late October. You and I both know what that phrase really means. Somebody ran out of patience. And suddenly, the heat on Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa got real. Then came the game against the Buffalo Bills. Nobody expected much. But Miami came out swinging and smacked Buffalo 30-13. That kind of win shifts the entire vibe. It gave both McDaniel and Tua a bit of breathing room. But according to Mike Sando from The Athletic, Ross might be playing the long game. He's reportedly waiting until after the 2026 season to decide whether to hit the full reset button. And there's a reason for that. Moving on from Tua right now would be a financial disaster. That 4-year, $212.4 million contract is an anchor. Cutting him today would leave almost $99 million in dead cap. Wait until after 2026, and that number drops to $34. $8 million. That's business logic. Plain and simple, and Ross didn't build his empire by making bad timing calls. As for McDaniel, Ross still seems drawn to that offensive creativity. The guy who dropped 70 on Denver back in 2023 didn't just lose his spark overnight. But patience is wearing thin. No playoff wins, and an offense that keeps folding under pressure are testing his reputation. Still, Ross seems to believe McDaniel can pull something special out of this group. Looking at the schedule, there's room for a turnaround. Washington, New Orleans, and the Jets all beatable teams. And that's where Ross faces his biggest dilemma. Tear it all down now, or bet on McDaniel and Tua one more time. This decision won't come down to stats alone. It's about how this team fights when the fire's on. And believe me, that wasn't even the craziest part of the week. That win over Buffalo felt electric. What came next was pure Miami swagger. Mike McDaniel might get questioned for a lot of things, but no one can say he doesn't know how to push buttons. After silencing the critics and blowing out the Bills 30-13, he decided to send a message, and apparently not with words. Here's what went down. Somewhere near Fort Lauderdale, right by the iconic Elbow Room, the Bills Mafia's go-to bar. When they take over South Florida, McDaniel was spotted driving by, yelling something out the window. Someone snapped a photo, social media went nuts, and then Tyreek Hill poured gasoline on the fire. He shared the pic and wrote something that instantly became gospel among fans. Basically saying, "That's my coach, he's got that dog in him." Could it have been coincidence? Sure, maybe he drives that route home all the time. But come on, nobody's buying that. That was a statement. After hearing boos at Hard Rock and catching heat for being too calm, McDaniel answered the critics his own way. Not with a speech, but with attitude. And man, the fans loved it. Inside the locker room, the energy was completely different. The image of McDaniel grinning in shades said more than words could. That wasn't just a win, it was redemption. A reminder that this locker room still rides with him. Players who'd started tuning out the outside noise looked reconnected again. And Tyreek Hill, he was the megaphone for all of it. The guy thrives on passion. When he feels his coach locked in, the rest of the roster follows. That's exactly what we saw against Buffalo. Creative play calling, looseness, confidence. The Dolphins played like a team that remembered who. They are two outsiders. That moment by the Elbow Room might have just looked like a funny photo. But to anyone who bleeds aqua and orange, it was symbolic. That tiny act flipped the mood. It turned doubt into belief, and belief into momentum. But here's the thing, it's what came next that really got people talking. If the Bills' win brought joy, the next wave of news brought hope. For the first time in weeks, the injury reports didn't sound like a funeral. Word is, several key players could finally return soon. Not depth pieces, real game changers. 4 names stand out: James Daniels, Austin Jackson, Andrew Meyer, and kicker Jason Sanders. That's a serious boost. Daniels and Jackson especially are the backbone of that offensive line group that's been way too inconsistent all year. Without them, Tua's been hanging out to dry, and no offense can thrive without protection up front. McDaniel didn't confirm anything yet, but his tone changed during the presser. The team's heading to Madrid to face Washington this Sunday, and for once, he didn't sound cautious. Instead of the usual "no one's ready to return," he said something like, "I'll have a firm answer by Wednesday." If you know McDaniel, that's basically optimism screaming between the lines. The trip to Spain adds another layer. Playing overseas messes with routines, shakes things up, and sometimes that's exactly what a struggling team needs. Miami's sitting at 3-7, but if they get healthy and regain their edge, there's still time to flip the script. And the good vibes don't stop there. For more guys who missed the last game, Russell Douglas, Job Robinson, Ashton Davis, and Julian Hiller expected back against Washington. That's a huge boost across the board. Douglas and Robinson bring juice to the pass defense. Davis steadies the back end, and Hill gives Tua another weapon in the short game. For the first time in a long while, it feels like the energy around the Dolphins is shifting. There's still a long climb ahead. But seeing McDaniel smiling again, veterans healing up, and the locker room laughing, it's hard not to feel like something's coming alive again in Miami. Maybe this team isn't just healing physically. Maybe it's healing from the inside out. And as this wild week wraps up, one thing's clear. Something's stirring in South Florida. The owner's watching, the coach is answering, and the team's starting to believe again. The Dolphins still have a lot to prove, but that spark of pride and unity might be the beginning of something special. So what do you think? Can this squad still shock the world? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button. And let's show everyone that the aqua and orange never quit. Have you stopped to think about what's really going on with our Miami Dolphins this 2025 season? It's been a total roller coaster, man. We've all been on edge every week. We've got everything from game-changing signings to trade rumors that could split the fan base in half. Is our GM building a monster or just chasing a dream? Stick with me, because what's coming next is straight fire. So tell me, do you think this season could be a defining one for the Dolphins? Drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and join our members club to support the channel.